Good morning. I'm Charles Kuralt, and this is Sunday Morning. Betsy Aaron has a story about some teenage television journalists in New Mexico. On television, young people watch, what? Music videos, Ninja Turtles, whatever's hot, whoever's cool, maybe some sports. Certainly they're not interested in the news. Oh, yes, they are. Betsy Aaron is about to tell us about more than 400 high school students all over the state of New Mexico who are interested enough in the news not just to watch it, but to cover it themselves.
Is graffiti vandalism, or does it communicate?
These are news stories about teenagers. Reported by teenagers.
Is Albuquerque a teenage wasteland?
Written and produced by teenagers.
I love going out and I love talking to people and I love finding out about this, and there is something about the camera that it's addictive and it's so exciting.
Teenagers making television. That's what's so addictive. They're doing it all over New Mexico. 29 high schools have signed on to a program called News 101. The finished pieces are aired twice a week on Channel 13 in Albuquerque.
We constantly tell them, don't do what we do. Do what you want to do. Come up with a different way to tell us this thing.
The idea for News 101 came from Channel 13's Chris Schueler. The station believed that if young people were given a chance to make television news, then maybe more young people would end up watching television news.
I want them to get out of the project the ability to think creatively.
What would you do if you found out one of your close friends or relatives was homosexual?
One of my close friends, I don't know, that'd probably be a different story, but one of my relatives is.
These students all go to the Albuquerque Academy. For the most part, they are juniors and seniors, all overachievers, totally captivated with the medium and the message.
So do you think that there's homophobia in the
Picking
conversation?
subjects, planning shoots, producing a finished piece. There's a lot to learn.
Not necessarily all heterosexual activity. And
We want to be seen and heard. Yeah.
They're working on a piece about homosexual teenagers and the way they are treated.
No one's ever wanted to tackle an issue of homosexuality, especially on a teenage level.
What are you going to say that I wouldn't say on the air?
I think part of it is that I don't know if we'd say anything differently, but I think it's going to be heard differently. I think people might listen to us more open-minded simply because we're teenagers as opposed to the adults. People aren't going to think we're callous.
Shiprock's a 4-hour drive north from Albuquerque. In this place, the mountains spill into the valley where the Navajo live. Inside Shiprock High School, Geraldine Yazzie talks about what she's trying to accomplish with News 101.
I want to tell people how the Navajos are and how they live and their culture and tradition.
Scratch a journalist or a budding journalist, and you'll often discover someone who just wants to make the world a better place. One day, Yazzie was in a store, and she heard two people describe Navajos, her people, this way.
They're no good. They won't pay their bills. They're just gonna get drunk on it.
It really hurts, doesn't it? What did that make you feel like inside?
For a while, I didn't want to be a Navajo.
That's when she decided to do this story for News 101.
You're going to have to ask a question, and if you don't get the answer, you're going to have to think of, okay, what else can I say?
Steve Nash is coach and teacher.
You want to be clear in your mind what's your goal. What is it you want?
Knowledge of the culture, basically.
Okay.
In the past, not knowing anything about it, I figure after 7 years of living here, I might find out something about it.
Bring out the truth about Indians, not just the assumptions and the things that...
But what is the truth? And how do Geraldine, Betsy Salcido, and Alan Burkett get at that truth?
I want to show that there's bad stuff in Shiprock, because there's bad stuff everywhere. But at the same time, I don't want people to be offended. I don't want...
Salcido is worried about the way living conditions of the Navajo will be presented.
So we want to be fair about this. We don't like to be barging in on things, but we have to.
You want to do an interview next?
On what?
On homosexuality.
Back in Albuquerque, the academy students found out that not everyone was willing to talk to them.
We have not gotten a lot of interviews because a lot of schools, a lot of the high schools around town won't let us come. We're from TV 101, can we interview students? Oh, sure, come to campus, great, bring lots of people. Oh, by the way, our topic is homosexuality. Don't even come near us.
Click. Is that going to be part of your story? Are you going to say that?
Yes, definitely.
That's what the project's all about. We're giving this tool, we're giving them our tool. And we're allowing, and we're expecting and demanding that they are responsible with it and that they use it in a appropriate manner from their standpoint, maybe not from our standpoint.
The Albuquerque students, all of them, were huddled around Channel 13's editor, Mary Beth Hermans. Now they had to produce a piece.
You know, do you want to include your question so we get on the subject?
I think so, too. I think they do.
Yeah.
Voiceover number 2, take 1.
Shiprock's reporters were just as intense.
Big sister and some students about the culture of the Navajo people.
From the Shiprock students, a tentative smile.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with it.
If you were going to introduce this, what would you say if you were the anchor person introducing it?
Shiprock High School or Shiprock students will show you a different side to the Navajo people.
Okay.
Upstairs, Schueler screens Albuquerque's finished product.
In fact, many high schools refuse to acknowledge homosexuality and would not permit us to enter their campus.
Adults look at teenagers and say, they're still growing up, they're still adolescents, they don't have a real big perspective on the world. But in fact, we do.
Homophobia is a result of ignorance.
Not a bad day for a group of journalists.
The Presbyterian Church?
Yeah.
Okay.